not about which school's better. It's about us working together to make both better.
You're right, this isn't a competition.
No!
Both high schools are going to be part of Project Redesign.
Absolutely.
So, what is Project Redesign?
Project Redesign is an opportunity to make sure that kids at Craig and Parker High School are absolutely prepared for life after a diploma. Students in our buildings have probably heard their teachers talking about it, maybe even wearing t-shirts that say Project Redesign. And we want to make sure that students understand what this is all about. Mr. Lau and I and other district leaders made a decision to try to make some improvements to our curriculum. And the motivation for that is that we want to make sure that students who graduate from Craig and Parker are really well prepared for life after high school. We want our students to be able to compete. And so we looked at some important data like our ACT scores and decided that we needed to make some changes to help kids be even more prepared for college or for a job.
One of the changes that I'm sure you've heard about is the changes to the graduation requirements at Craig and Parker High School. The reason that we're making this change is, after surveying other high schools in the area, we found that we had significantly fewer graduation requirements. That resulted in our students not being prepared as well as they could be to participate in college, technical school, apprenticeships, or other post-secondary options. So beginning with next year, students will be required to take one additional credit until we increase the graduation requirement to 26.5 credits. Some of the things that we are adding with this change is an additional social studies credit, an additional half credit of a course called personal finance that will help students become educated consumers as well as prepare for college and post-secondary learning. Freshman seminar semester course that will help students transition to life in a high school so that students can be successful and gain credits coming right in the door and gain credits all throughout their high school experience. In addition to that, students will be asked to take one additional credit in the ACT tested areas, meaning that students will take one additional credit of their choice in either English, math, science, or social studies. The remainder of the credit increase will be elective credits. One of the things that we're very proud of here in Janesville is that we offer a comprehensive high school model, meaning that students can take not only the core classes, reading, science, math, social studies, but also a host of other things that really make learning even more fun and engaging, such as art, music, physical education, business, agriculture, technology education. All of those things and many others are part of what we call the comprehensive high school model. And by increasing our graduation requirements, we'll allow students to experience more of the things that they enjoy in addition to their core classes.
Why are you changing my schedule?
We're changing student schedules to make sure that they can get all of the classes they need to be prepared.
But don't worry, we're not changing important things like the start and the end time of the day. That will still be the same as it is now, and your lunch will still be as long as it is currently.
Next year, we are going to participate in an 8-period modified block schedule, which means that 3 days of the week, students will attend 8 classes of 47 minutes in length, and 2 days a week, they will attend block classes. A block class is a class of 86 minutes in length. On Tuesdays, you'll attend first, second, third, and fourth hour, and on Wednesday, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th hour. In order to get all of those minutes into the day, we had to recapture some minutes back. So one of the changes that students will notice next year is that our passing time is going to be 4 minutes in length rather than the 5 minutes in length that we've become accustomed to. Another change in our schedule is going to be the addition of something called Flex. Flex will be in place of what we've known as advisory, but Flex serves slightly different purposes. The purpose of Flex is to offer students time to get extra help that they need, to explore things that they're interested in, and to have a little bit more time in the classes that they need in order to have a truly successful experience. So what we're looking at is that students will make choices about how they'd like to spend their time, their flex time as we'll call it, which is 40 minutes twice a week. We're also going to ask input from teachers and students yet this year about how we might make good use of that flex time. We envision students doing things like participating in study groups for advanced placement courses. We envision students exploring elective areas that perhaps they haven't had time to fit into their schedule. We also think that some students will get the extra help they need to be successful in their English and math classes. Much more information will be coming about that, but we're both really excited about being able to offer students some time in their day to get the extra help they need, but also to fully explore the things that are available to students at Craig and Parker High School. We should reiterate that start and stop time is the same each and every day of the
Correct.
week, whereas currently students arrive at school a little bit late on Tuesday mornings. That won't be the case next year and moving forward. So we'll start at 8 and be done at 3:20 each and every day of the week.
Yes, and another change too with related to the schedule is we will have some professional development days where we may have an early dismissal so teachers can work on curriculum and lesson preparation and so forth. All of those dates will be published for families and kids well in advance at the start of the school year.
A final piece we'd like to mention is that we need to have a way to gauge how successful we are with students' progress in this new curriculum. The state has made a decision to use the ACT, a test that many of you have probably heard of or are at least familiar with, as the state accountability test.
What is the ACT?
The ACT is perhaps one of the most important tests you take during your high school experience. It's a predictor of how successful you'll be and where you can go after high school.
So most of you are familiar with the WKCE exam, and the ACT will sort of take its place. All students will take the ACT in their 11th grade year, and in their 9th and 10th grade years, they'll take a test called the Aspire. The Aspire is actually written by ACT and will help us know how we're doing in our work to get students ready for that ACT test in their junior year.
And this isn't a surprise for us. This is something that we've been planning for a long time, and we've known that on a national level this change has been coming. So teachers have been working very closely with the curriculum, what they teach in the classroom, to make sure that it lines up with that ACT test. We've been working the last 2 years taking the practice ACT test so students are familiar with what that exam looks like and what it feels like, because it is much different than the exams that we take here in a class or even at the end of a semester. It also should be noted too that on a positive note, the results from the ACT test that you take in your junior year in the spring can be used for college entrance. That's something that isn't allowed now with the current WKCE test. So there's certainly a benefit to students to doing well on that test when they take it, as well as working with the things that we've been doing to help you get prepared for that. Because the more you take the test, if you take it at least twice, typically you get a better score. So our hope is that by reinforcing the skills that are needed on this exam, making changes to what we teach here at Craig and Parker High School, making changes to what we ask of kids so that they're getting the right exposure to classes, and then changing the setting of our school and how we deliver things that will get the best results possible for our students when they graduate and leave Janesville.
We just want to remind all the students at Craig and Parker High School and their families that if you have any specific questions about Project Redesign or the content of this video, that Mr. Lau and I are always available by phone or email, and certainly you can call and schedule an appointment to meet with one of us if you have specific questions.